Guys, we're back. We're back for a game of freaking 3. Woo! I'm excited. Sorry about your eardrums. I'm excited for a game number 3. We just saw Reborn put on a damn clinic. They showed Clint Eastwood who was boss. You get to beat us one game, but game number 2, we are going to dominate, and that's exactly what they did. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank
So
you
good.
guys for watching.
You guys are so kind.
Shane?
And so handsome and so
Shane?
pretty and so smart.
Stop it. Shane, are you ready to do this?
I'm extraordinarily ready to do this. I can't
Are
think of the
you
last
ready to
time
do
we
this?
had. Normally, I'm not gonna lie. Normally, our finals are like pretty one-sided. Normally, it's like, okay, Reborn's here, and then
They
Suki-
are.
and then Imsco would come in with Twin Blast and go even before the Twin Blast update. But now, obviously, even Clint Eastwood. But talk about Rat Pack. Talk about Carbon EU. Talking about these other teams. The skill gap between these teams is getting narrower and narrower every single time we put on a broadcast.
Which is
I think
fantastic.
That's amazing. It's no longer this like one team. Now, obviously, if Reborn wins here, then yes, it'd still be that one team dominance. But clearly, I mean, with the way Clint Eastwood won in game number 1, it's signs of good things to come as far as the health of the competitive scene, as far as these players and teams getting better and better and better every single week.
Yeah, it's not just that they may continue to win tournaments for a little while. They may, if they lose today,
it all comes down to this game.
Congratulations, Clint Eastwood. But that being said, when you compare the competition that Reborn has had in the past 6 months to what they've had to face in the first PCL and this weekend, that skill gap is closing, and that just makes for better games, one to cast, and better games to watch. And I'm excited about that.
Let's get into the draft.
Okay.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. So, Howitzer Band, what do you think, Notch?
Howitzer Severog Band? I mean, why not? We haven't seen it the past 2 games in a row.
Oh! It's a Decker Band on Reborn, and then, Severog Band. But still, Howitzer might be let through here. And if Howitzer is going to let through, are they going to first pick him? No, Reborn's putting more priority on that steel, Notch.
No. You got to give J. Leo the steel. If you're going to take away this strong front line of Severog, and you're going to take away J. Leo's amazing Severog play, he's going to pick up the steel and play steel in the jungle.
I mean, sure, he's had a couple moments where, like, he missed an ult. Whatever. I mean, when you're playing against players that are this good, you're going to miss ults. Like, it's just this, you know what I mean? This ain't solo queue. But when he did land the ults, they were on priority targets, isolating them, and bursting people down. So I still overall, I think, very effective playing. Howitzer finally being let through in the draft, I think to no one's surprise, is going to be first picked here on the side, or at least the second round, the first picks here for Clint Eastwood. And again, it's going to be a guy in meds on that rampage.
Who doesn't miss boulders, Shane? Can we talk about that?
He's missed a couple.
Be quiet. That's okay. He's missed a few, but
that's okay. Suki is going to be back on the Murdoch here, and Greystone Prime is going to be assuming the role of Greystone here. So, I mean, at this point, I completely expect Feng Miao to be picked up more than likely as a last pick, unless they want to pick up a Feng Miao here on the side of Reborn. More than likely not. I don't think that's going to be the case, but this is shaping up to be a very similar draft to what we saw in the previous match. It's just that as of right now, it's Suki on the Murdoch as opposed to the Twin Blast. So I was just saying, I guess I'm going to eat my own words here. I expect to see a Feng Miao, but no, it's going to be a Kwong here, Notch.
It's Kwong. Kwongzilla.
The last time we saw Kwong, it was I believe it was either a guy on meds or Ram Riddles, or it was a guy on meds who pulled it off, and he was just, it was an amazing performance out of that. So. And, of course, Marty once again on that Narbash as well. So, looking at Reborn's draft, they need a support, and they need a mid laner here. Gadget's available, as well as Gideon. And we all know Solo Nazgul's favorite hero in the game is Gideon. I expect it to be a Gadget, to be perfectly honest, as the last pick comes out here for Reborn.
You think it's going to be Gadget over Bellica, which he's been doing a really good job with Bellica on?
Well, that's true. That's a good point. It could be the Bellica as well.
I just see that he's had a really good games with Bellica. Game number 2, he played a great Bellica. I expect to see him in that particular role. And the main reason I expect to see him in that role is because they don't have the stun or a big form of CC, because that goes to a guy on meds and Arsenic or I'm sorry, a guy on meds and Marty with the Narbash and the Rampage Boulder and Thunk. So I expect to see a Bellica.
So there it is. There's your draft. No surprise, Twin Blast being picked up here for Imsco. I was hoping for a Grim, but I don't think they're going to be doing this. They experimented with him during the group stage and went 1-1 with him, but obviously Imsco much more comfortable picking up that Twin Blast. So you called the Bellica pick right there, Notch. Otherwise, Master Splinter on Muriel. I have to say, comparing Marty's playstyle to Muriel's playstyle, I think Master Splinter does have a little bit better of a Muriel as far as knowing exactly when to time that Reversal of Fortune as they engage. They have a lot of ability to get value out of the Reversal of Fortune between Greystone with Storm the Gates on top of the Snare and his ultimate, and of course Steel with Shield Slam. There's a lot of aggressive potential that Master Splinter has here on that Muriel.
Looking at these picks, who are you going to give this game to?
There's a Howitzer. It's hard to deny the strength of Howitzer. It's also hard to deny the strength of Kwang here. But I think the way Reborn had played, as well as Nazgul playing Bellica and just using her to just completely cut the Achilles heels of any casters in the game, whether it's a mid laner, whether it's a support caster, whomever is very reliant on their damage from their mana pool. Nazgul is just, his focus is on draining their mana pool and making them useless in fights. Sure, it's a Howitzer, man, but a Howitzer needs that mana. And I think strictly because of the Bellica pick, I'm going to give a slight favor over to Reborn as far as the draft goes.
So, based on the Bellica pick, you're going slight favor to Reborn.
Yep.
Based on the draft, I have to say Clint Eastwood. They've got a great stun, 2 great stuns with the Boulder and the Thunk for my guy on meds and Marty. They've got Arsenic with the incredible zone control. Plus, you've got Ram Riddles who has that tether with an incredible ult. Looking at the draft, I think Clint Eastwood actually wins the draft here and think they could take this game number 2.
This is no doubt in anyone's mind that this is anyone's game, this is anyone's series, this is anyone's finals right here. I honestly don't think it is going to come down to just the draft. These teams are able to recognize the weaknesses of their teams and also exploit the weaknesses of their opponent. So that's what it's going to come down to right here. I expect us to see one of the best games we've ever seen ever in the history of Paragon going into this game number 3, my man.
Can we just shut up and get this stuff started?
As soon as I do production things, yes.
Oh my God, I just wanted to see the game.
Hashtag blame Notch. Because Notch, guys, actually, this time around we switched it up. Notch is the one doing all the production for once. So
that is not true. Yes, guys.
True. I'm at 5 seconds.
Guys. Let's count it down then. I was gonna yell at chat, but I'll not do that this time.
Don't yell at chat. Chat's amazing. We love you, chat. Thank you for your support.
Yeah,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Game number 3, the finals of PCL number 2. It's been a great weekend of Paragon, a great weekend of Monolith, a great weekend of seeing nerds go at each other's throats in the digital realm. But this is going to be it. It all comes down to this. Let's introduce these guys one more time. In blue is going to be Reborn, Master Splinter on Muriel, Suki on Murdoch, Nazgul on Lieutenant Bellica, J. Leo Grande on Steel, and Prime Dot, a.k.a. Illahero, a.k.a. Reflect, a.k.a. King Daddy on the Greystone.
Ram Riddles on Kwang, Arsenic on Howie, a guy on meds playing Rampage, Imsco is on Twin Blast, and Marty Rivia playing Narbash, baby. Shane, do me a favor, because the chat's pointing it out, so I'm going to have you do the same thing. How many onto the Pures over on the side of Reborn?
That's the early game we play now. There's 4. And Suki could pick up a Barrier Will if he wanted to.
So all 5 of them, we're calling it right now, are going to have shields.
Are we going to see a Barrier of the Will Murdoch? That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Of course, I wouldn't be surprised to see Arsenic pick up a Barrier Will, like a delayed one later on, to be perfectly honest, on Howitzer.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, of course you have the Onto the Piers on Narbash as well as Kwang. Those are standard on those 2 heroes right there.
Mid lane, because we haven't seen a lot of Howitzer, 100% goes to Arsenic right now. The poke is just so much better. That his knockup is, or his mine is so important to help pick up kills mid game. If he can use that, combo it with a Boulder or a Thunk from Narbash or Rampage, they can get an easy kill on Solo Nazgul here mid game. So I have to say mid game though, Shane, is going to go to Arsenic purely based on his kit with landmine, the slow, and the way it can combo off other heroes.
You have to respect the Void Drone, though. You have to play around the Void Drone. If Arsenic is able to play around the Void Drone of Nazgul, once he gets a couple levels on board and once it's leveled up a few times, then I agree. But it all comes down to the Void Drone and the way they play that out as far as the laning phase goes. So Kwang in the off lane here, for what he lacks in mobility, he makes up for in tank ability with the utilization of his right mouse button there. Obviously gives him that on-demand basic and ability armor. And as well, when he does have level 5, he can use his Judgment of the Heavens defensively, but not ideal. Point trying to be, he's still a very effective offlaner.
Very effective offlaner. I mean, you've got one passively building lifesteal off of his Gift of the Heavens, which is fantastic when he's underneath that tower. Plus, he's going to pick up the healer token, so he's going to be able to defend this tower. He should be able to defend this tower really well. We saw in the last game, Prime and Reborn give up their tier 1 tower really quickly.
Yes.
For that rotation.
3 minutes and 45 seconds on the dot.
Yeah, so they're obviously not doing that this time. We're not seeing the pressure from Marty and Imsko that we saw in the last game. Is that because he's on Twin Blast and not on Murdoch? Why do you think they're not pressuring the way they pressured in the first game?
To be honest, I'm not sure. It might even be the switch up of the rules of having Narbash as opposed to Muriel, which they had before. Not entirely sure. Just, again, Clint Eastwood, for being a young roster, these guys haven't been played together. They've shown a great deal of variety in playstyles, and I think this may just simply be another example of a variety in playstyle that they're comfortable enough to doing during the laning phase.
So, enemy towers being pressured hard over here by Master Splinter and Suki. They're trying to keep Ram Riddles back, trying to keep him under-farmed. Possibly they take this tower first and then rotate over to the off lane. Just a reversal of what we saw, continuing to keep up that aggression. They've already put Clint Eastwood on the back foot after beating them very decisively.
Guy and Meds rotated over here to the off lane. Prime took a big boulder to the face. Did have some bump juice, and of course, as you mentioned, that regen token, the healer token rather, providing that regen. So insanely valuable. It seems to be the go-to laning phase item, at least for the first couple of minutes. Ramino's also taking a fair amount of harassment as well, so pretty par for the course for offlaners, but definitely Clint Eastwood putting more priority into the offlane than that of... Oh, there is a thunk. The boulder actually misses right there. A guy on meds, despite the fact that it was set up by a thunk right there. So the alley-oop isn't going to line up, and the closer Prime is to get to level 5, the narrower of an opportunity that Reborn has to try to really... I'm sorry, the narrow opportunity that Clint Eastwood has to capitalize on the weakness of Greystone.
Yeah. I mean, Master Suki over here, they are putting a lot of pressure on this tier 1 tower. I mean, they are trying to get it down before their tower falls. I expect them to pick this up and then rotate off and bully Marty and Imsko on Narbash and Twin Blast there. So we're seeing a little bit of a different play style out of Reborn right now. Again, continue to be the aggressor.
As far as the mid lane goes, Soul Nazgul level 5, Arsenic pretty much just exchanging blows, a little bit of harassment between each other, but not much going on. Looking at the warding thus far, Reborn has a good perimeter, set up a formation of triangles around the strong side of their jungle, knowing the tendency of a guy on meds on Rampage, which he has displayed in almost every single match, including the ones up against Reborn. A guy on meds loves having aggressive invasions into the jungle around the spawnings of the green buff, so putting up those words, I think, is in a response to what guy on meds has done time and time again, and that's just casually stroll into the jungle, pick up the green buff, and able to get away. So maybe almost a bait, allow him to come in and try to punish sort of a predictable style on a guy on meds, which is how he has favored for quite some time in every single match that we've seen him.
Yeah, so tier 1 tower has fallen for Suki and Master Splinter. Prime still, Ram Riddles over here still trying to defend this. It does look like Imsko should be able to get this down here very soon. I don't know if the rotation's going to be coming. They are bullying Prime quite a bit. He is low. He's going to have to back off. He does have his ultimate online, but he's just going to back off and let this tower fall. No reason losing a life over a tier 1 here is what he's decided. Mid lane, we've seen not a lot of rotation coming out of Leo.
Yeah.
Leo's just been farming. He's trying to get level 5. Once he gets level 5, we'll see a bit more out of him because, of course, he wants that shield slam and that big ultimate to help set up and initiate in these team engagements. And again, mid lane has just kind of been respect mid game. They're just dealing with minions, not a lot of poke on each other. Even though Arsenic has the better poke, he's just content farming right now.
Yeah. Kill potential on Howitzer takes a couple of levels. The way the R2000 rocket costs 145 mana, which is actually more than its ultimate. And the amount of mana that you have to use it at level 1 just really isn't worth it until you get it around level 6, around level 8, level 3, level 4 R2000 rocket. And that's really when it starts chunking people regardless of the amount of farm that you have. Talking about the J-Leo Steel, we've seen him on it every single time here since they've been banning out his highly precious, esteemed Sevarog. For a jungler, his farm in the mid stages of the game has been fairly lagging behind from what we expect out of a typical jungler. But Steel's one of those heroes that, compared to other junglers, still, despite the fact that he might not have the most farm in the world, gets insane value from his kit. And that's one of the really cool things about Steel in the jungle, is that, sure, you might, even if you do fall behind on farm, you still are extraordinarily impactful. So it's sort of a safety net, a good pick if you do fall behind at any stage of the game.
I mean, you land a shield slam into a bull rush, if your team has the follow-up, you're guaranteeing a kill here. Guy on Meds has to be very careful. He does not have level 5. The Void Drone is going to go out. People are popping abilities, so you do hear the Void Drone shooting off there. Guy on Meds is going to back up. Mid lane here being pressured by Reborn. I love the pressure coming out of Reborn. This is what Clint Eastwood needs to be doing, but they're not allowing that to happen. They're rotating. As chat would say, they're deathballing right now.
Oh, don't say that. Oh, no. Shield slam on a guy on meds. They isolated him. He's not level 5. No one rage. They burst him down. Arsenic uses the make it rain, but he just gets completely knocked up into the pillar right there. Looking for an opportunity to turn this fight around is Clint Eastwood, but it looks like they're not going to find that opportunity. So, well done. They dropped a ward. They had, I'm not sure if they had vision of that area, but still, catching out guy on meds and hindering his farm is quite the opposite of what a guy in meds has been able to achieve in this series thus far. It's not normal for us to see him not level 5 at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and he's also missed quite a few boulders. He just missed one in the river there onto Solo Nazgul. I believe he's missed 3 or 4 of these boulders, which would help them set up these engagements, but unfortunately, they're just not landing, and we're seeing much better rotation out of Reborn than we are out of Clint Eastwood right now. These guys need to go back to game number 1. Game number 1 worked for them when they were the ones dictating the speed of the match, when they were the ones dictating when engagements took place. That worked for them. They picked up a game number 1, and they're just not doing that. They haven't done it. They didn't do it in game number 2, and they haven't started doing it 10 minutes into game number 3, and it's cost them quite a bit of map control. It's also cost them not a ton of card power, but you do see they are starting to fall behind a little bit. We've got Suki he's got 1 kill, 15 card power to Ram Riddle's 13. You've got Leo Grande sitting at 11. A guy on meds is only at 10. Again, it's not a huge lead, but that lead, with the way this game works now, can snowball really quickly if you continue to be the aggressor.
Rip NVIDIA drivers in this build of Monolith. J. Leo Grande wasn't looking for a bull rush, but again, the invasion into the jungle. It's actually Clint Eastwood invading. Already using that boost. Leo Grande's taking a lot of damage. 1 rocket, 1 big burst damage is enough for him to go down. But he might be able to turn this around. They're grouped up. Shield slam onto 3. A big one right there. The follow-up from Suki. Is it enough? Not entirely sure. And they are able to get the kill. So there was a big shield slam, but unfortunately not going to be the case here. And the Make It Rain is going to punish Nazgul as well. A 1-for-2 exchange to support for your jungler and the mid laner there, guys. Arsenic used the R2000 rocket, and he's next to fall. Make it a 2-for-2. First duel engagement of the game went down. It's going to be very, very even there. And these teams are, looks like it's, hopefully from here on out, not going to be as much of a passive game as we expected.
No, we just saw the engagement there. Solo Nazgul and both Leo Grande fall. 2-for-1 exchange favoring Clint Eastwood, and that's what they need to continue to do. They need to continue to be aggressive. Ram Riddles, as always, aggressive in this lane over here, keeping the minion wave pushed all the way to the tier 2 tower, keeping Prime out of these engagements and making sure he clears up those minions. Guys, as Shane just said right there, this build does not agree with the NVIDIA drivers. Some of these team fights, we are having a little bit of choppiness, but unfortunately, out of our control, guys. We'll fix our stream. Shane, fix the stream, bro. Can you contact NVIDIA for us?
Yeah,
we'll get on the phone with NVIDIA, guys. We're going to pause this right now.
Yeah, guys.
Give us just a few minutes.
Yeah, guys. Sorry. My 980 Ti apparently isn't enough. That's okay. Working on it. It's the game's in development, guys. Things like this happen. Not much we can do about it, but we're still having a good time nonetheless. So, currently,
Shane,
I mean, this game number 3, my man, pretty even. I mean, the only exchange was a 2 for 2, and these guys, as far as the farm goes, 225 CS to 206. So, Madstone gems for days, and I expect to see Honor the Pure coming out, or Honor. I'm sorry, Honor. Yeah, I said that right. Coming out here just
right.
for all the Order heroes.
Honor Pure, barrier of the honor of the will.
Correct.
Whatever it is. When Clint Eastwood engages, the fights go in their favor, and that's what we saw. We saw them get a little aggressive there and take that engagement. They need to keep that up. Leo Grande over here rotating for Imsco and Marty. The thunk landed and actually kind of pushed Leo off of that engagement. Prime now being the aggressor over here in this safe lane, trying to take out this tier 1 tower from Ram Riddles. Got to be careful that there's not a rotation because he is pushed very far forward and doesn't actually have any warding. I don't know if the rotation is going to come because, of course, it's a Greystone and he has 2 lives. Ram Riddles is just going to try and defend this tower here. Mid lane, we're still seeing basically farming back and forth between Arsenic and Solo. They're not really being the aggressors. Nobody's trying to bully each other out of the lane. They're just taking their last, they're just last hitting, playing a PvE game right now, and waiting for their team to group up before they go into these engagements.
So both these teams are just they see that Matcherino, they see that it all comes down to this one single game, and they're going, let's play smart, let's not be reckless, let's wait for opportunities instead of making opportunities. And that seems to be the case. I mean, we've only seen the offlane towers fall right now, which is pretty much to be expected at this stage of the game. Clint Eastwood, starter group over here on the left side of the map. Guy on meds is rotating here from the river, queuing up that boulder, and this tier 1 tower is being sieged down. Leo has the green buff, so he has that damage mitigation. Might be looking for a shield slam. Again, he's not afraid to use it on just one person. A guy on meds is by himself. The positioning, they've umbrelled themselves over here so they don't get hit by the shield slam, by big, 2 people shield slam or anything like that. Solo Nazgul is also looming beyond the fog wall, maybe looking for a stun setup, a void drone, or any sort of combination. Bull rush forward, look for a shield slam onto 2, beautifully done. The follow-up stun is there. Long arm of the law, beautifully executed right there. Arsenic's going to go into the sky, but it's a little bit too late. He's actually going to jump away closer to the tower, and that may isolate him. Guy in meds is in range. Not sure if he's got the boulder online. Tether hits. Prime get hits by a thunk, but he's Prime. He's a Greystone. He doesn't really care about the engagement, so that was beautifully done. J. Leo Grande bull rushed in there, gave him the range he needed. A 2-man shield slam, follow-up, coordination, the kill onto the carry, and now over to the Raptors to pick these up.
Which is a huge economic objective here. 1 card power per Raptor. They're going to be able to pick up 2. They're going to give both of those to Suki and just continue to keep him farmed. He's at 23 card power, 24 card power. Going to be at 25 when that one falls there. And Imsco's currently sitting at 19 card power. Just the way Suki farms is so impressive. He always has a lead. They make sure that he's picking up kills in these engagements. He's 2-0-2. Creep score is at 85. He's got, again, just an advantage in any one of these engagements. Leo Grande is going to fall. How did Leo Grande just fall?
I honestly don't know. I was looking at the scoreboard. I'm not entirely sure. But Leo Grande gets taken out. I'd imagine it has to do something with the fact that there's 4 people in mid right now. I'm sure that has something to do with it. Guy in meds sitting here. Boulder queued up. Is in the shadow plane with the utilization of that purple buff. Nazgul wants nothing to do with that, and this should be a tier 1 tower mid falling pretty easily, pretty straightforward. Are they going to be pushing a tier 2 tower? They don't have Imsco. They don't have the damage from their carry right now. Instead, they're rotating over the jungle, dropping a lot of wards, looking to deny some farm or catch someone out.
These white camps. Some of these white camps had 5 minions. Suki in a lot of trouble here.
Oh, the purple buff, so much value. The crash bang boom is there. He gets knocked up. Onto the Pure, has kept him alive. Muriel shields as well. Look at all the shields on Suki. They're trying to take him out. They're trying to do what they can, but they can't just seem to kill him. He finally goes down, but here comes Grande. Huge shield slam onto 3 right here. A bull rush to knock him up as well. Is the follow-up there? He's isolating Arsenic at this point in time. Here comes Prime. They need a little bit more damage. Suki down. Their biggest source of damage simply isn't on the field right now. They're relying on Prime and Nazgul to do a majority of the damage. Master Splinter, all the meanwhile, does pick up a takedown onto the Howitzer, and the chase continues. Prime has Reforged online. I mean, that really, he's diving quite a bit to get this kill, but they are going to turn around. Suki goes down, a core for a core. Pretty even exchange, but what a shield slam from Leo Grande, coming out from the jungle and hitting 3.
Yeah, there was a massive shield slam to make sure that his team was able to pick up kills, and also, I mean, Suki eventually fell, but there was a lot going into that. So when the team showed up, when Reborn showed up, there was very little that Clint Eastwood could actually do after that massive shield slam coming out of Leo Grande there. Arsenic does get picked off. He's dead. He's coming back up in 1 second. The taking a look at the score again, I'm just trying to see when we've got 3 out of the peers online right now on the side of Reborn. We've got Marty who's picked up his. That purple buff, man, the value out of that purple buff was huge.
Yeah,
But just a
Suki
great
couldn't have
rotation
predicted that
coming out
one.
of Reborn.
Yeah.
No, not at all. The reversal of fortune came down, saved him for a minute, but just good rotation coming out of Reborn to make sure it wasn't a little bit more devastating, and they didn't lose any more objectives. If Suki fell and they picked up the kill on to Master Splinter, they possibly could have taken a tier 2 there.
Prime doing what any good Greystone does, utilizing the fact that he has that second life and just being a complete nuisance constantly, warding aggressively inside the jungle, disruptive on the Amberlink because of the high hit rate, the cadence of the hit rate on his Q. He's able to just completely siphon away from that Amberlink, and he's done that consistently. One thing I say as far as regarding the Amberlinks, teams have definitely been maybe not prioritizing them, but definitely have been doing a much better job at constantly sort of poking those away and trying to mitigate the amount of card experience that Amberlinks give, because they give quite a substantial amount. A full Amberlinks 800 card experience, almost an entire card level to everyone on your team. Enrage, Crash Bang Boom, Master Splinter Trouble, trying to use his shields to keep himself alive. A couple more attacks on the tower should be enough, and it is enough time for Suki for Master Splinter to get that reversal of fortune down. At this point, just trying to delay his health, but a guy in meds is out of mana. No Enrage gets bursted down, and Suki gets the last hit, and then just without a moment's notice, doesn't miss a beat whatsoever, turns against the long arm with a law for a double kill. Leo Grande hit the shield slant onto Imsco. His Honor the Pier is on cooldown. Is Bull Rush there? Are they going to continue to engage this? Thinking twice until the rest of the team shows up. Solo Nazgul gets a stun on Arsenic. Into the sky he goes. This is a very, very awkward spot, but they're chasing down Imsco. All the meanwhile here, Suki does get taken out by the Howitzer. So they went to chase Imsco, but unfortunately, they abandoned Suki, and Clint Eastwood exploited that, took out Suki. Murdoch is down. Now Nazgul's in troubled waters. Stun's not going to hit. Arsenic has no mana, but the Ventilate's going to be there. Actually, I think Imsco was taken out by Nazgul at the very last second there. A 3-4-2 exchange, and that was a very, very tense moment right there. I think Leo and Prime got a little bit reckless. They opened up Suki. They pretty much abandoned Suki, and Clint Eastwood did a great job of exploiting that and took him out.
The play from Arsenic right there with the Make It Rain into the landmine, knocking Suki back into the final explosion of Make It Rain to help secure that kill. Great play coming out of Arsenic. Really good counter aggression, because they were being chased down. Reborn was chasing down Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood turned on it, was able to pick up 3 kills. Leo Grande just got a little bit overextended there. Of course, no objectives are going to come off of that, but those 3 kills were really important for Clint Eastwood. Keeps them alive, keeps the card power advantage from getting too high. Imsco still lagging behind Suki, but the rest of the team is doing a really, really good job here. And no tier 2 tower is down yet, but this game, this is anybody's match, Shane. This is anybody's match.
A card we have seen very few and far between is Reverberate, and that actually was picked up by Arsenic here. A lot of you probably aren't familiar with this card. This is a direct answer tool at dealing with not only the Honor the Pures, but as well as Muriel. 50% damage bonus against shields for 4 seconds. Now, granted, it's a 60-second cooldown, so it's 15 seconds longer of a cooldown than Honor the Pure, and obviously Muriel's cooldowns on his shields as well, but pop that with the big burst combo of the R2000 as well as the Make It Rain ultimate coming out of Howitzer, and that is a very good tool at dealing with just the stacking of the shields that we see in the meta currently. Whether it's a Muriel on the field or whether it's Barrier Wills plus Honor the Pure. I won't be surprised if the meta continues this way, where we see so much shielding, that we start to see cards like Reverberate come into the field. Although, meanwhile, Gaia Meds has the red buff, so he's got that ability damage increase, but it's a Greystone. It's always a risky proposition to try to isolate and take him out by the time the rest of his team rotates to protect him.
Yeah, I wonder why more teams don't pick up this card, especially with Honor of the Pure being as strong as it is, or Barrier of the Will being as strong as it is. We see so many people picking, heroes with Fury affinity. It still gives you that power. Just build full power, build your full power into Reverberate. you're going to be dealing a ton of damage on shielded target. That being said, there's an engagement.
Leo has his purple buff. I don't know if they know about it. The shield slam right onto 2. They weren't expecting that. The reversal of fortune is aggressive. Suki is in the back line, actually getting bullied around by a guy on meds. He's isolated. He's got to be so very careful here. Solo Nazgul, they have the shields on her. Pierce drop. They're trying to catch him out. Everyone low on the side of Clint Eastwood. And in goes Prime. Storm the gates is what it's going to be. And they're starting to cut him down right there. Guy in meds hits a boulder on a Master Splinter, but it's really not enough. He's trying to... Imsco has now just jumped in. Prime is trying to isolate Imsco. Imsco jumps up to the high ground. Arsenic is here to try to defend his buddy, but it's not going to be enough. 3 are already down on the side of Clint Eastwood, and they're going to continue to chase the snares. The CC should be enough to pick up the howitzer here. Stun is going to miss, but Arsenic at this point is just trying to delay the inevitable, unless he has a blink charm of mine or something. He's doing a good job of building time for his team right here. And also, more importantly, making sure that Imsco is able to get away, but still, Suki went down, but a 1-for-4 exchange. Reborn again takes a favorable engagement.
Yeah, they're just... I thought for a minute that engagement was going to go in favor of Clint Eastwood. They're just... The way they time their Honor of the Peers, the way they use those back-to-back really gives them an advantage in these team fights. We saw Suki fall pretty quickly. A guy on meds focused heavily on Suki, and so did Ram Riddles. They focused so hard on that Arsenic was taken down, and then they just turned on the 2 guys behind everybody and were able to pick up those kills pretty quickly. Imsco made the right call. He backed off, made sure his tier 2 tower didn't fall. They do lose a tier 1 tower after that engagement, but jump pads are still activated. Reborn is going to go back. They're going to reset, spend their card power, get ready for that next engagement. Leo did pick up Shockwave again, Shane, so this is the second time we've seen that. He's doing a really good job at landing these shield slams on the target that they really want to prioritize. Yeah. It may only be on one, but it's on a big target every single time. It's on Arsenic or on Imsco. The targets they really want down, the big damage dealers. Rotating over, of course, picking up the Raptors. If they time this right, they should get 2. This Raptor is going to fall.
Yeah, you're right.
They're going to allow Suki to pick up the next one. Am I ahead of you on the time, Shane?
No, you're right there. Right, I just hit 24 minutes.
Oh, I'm at okay, I'm like 10 seconds ahead of you.
I'm at 5, 6, 24, 6, 24, 7. Not how sure that works. That's okay.
All right, there we go. I'm not sure how that worked either.
That's okay. Probably because I'm getting that little bit of the frame rate drop a little bit sometimes, and that probably builds up throughout the course of the game, and you get a little bit ahead of me. But yeah, this game is still very, very even. That last engagement, despite the fact that Leo Grande had the purple buff and got a huge shield slam onto 2 very important targets, it still could have been anyone's fight at that point in time. It's 12-8. We're hitting the soon to hit the 25-minute mark. 38 card experience here for Suki, 31 for Imsco. But it seems like Clint Eastwood is one of these teams that really doesn't prioritize farm on their carry as much as they do as their offlaner and their jungler. Ramriddle's at 34. Consistently, Ram Riddles is always the most farm person on his team. Imsco's always lagging behind. Even when they're just one-sided winning games, that always seems to be the case. Arsenic forced to use a defensive make-it rain. Leo Grande quick on his heels, using the shield slam, long arm of the law, and that's going to be a real easy kill onto Arsenic. A miscommunication coming out. Leo's going to be able to get away. Reversal of fortune used, not necessary, but he is... Oh no, now Solo Nazgul's got caught out, and Ram Riddles is electing to go in there, but he's got to careful his mana. Boulder's not going to miss. Ram Riddles is snared up. Does he have enough mana for his ultimate? That Void Drone is getting so much value. And now Prime is here. He's rotated around. The speed boost given to him from Muriel. Alacrity to try to get him into a position. Clint Eastwood knows they don't want to kill Prime because that snare will secure their death. Crash, bang, boom. Prime just goes in there and cuts Narbash down. And his next target's going to be Ram Riddles. And he's going to get taken out as well. Reborn just all of a sudden take 3 out right there. That was uncharacteristic from Clint Eastwood right there, Notch. Arsenic generally doesn't sort of get caught out like that, but just a big heads-up play. Leo Grande hits the shield slam, and it all fell into place for him.
We saw, I mean, it was the aggression out of Clint Eastwood like they need to do, but just a good counterplay by Reborn. Leo Grande waited until he was clear of the... or he waited for the make it rain to happen before he ulted. Instant follow-up from Suki with the long arm of the law, picking up Arsenic pretty quickly. And then we saw...
Prime doesn't have Reforge. Prime doesn't have Reforge. He has to get away, man. The shields are just so on point right there between the Honor of the Peers as well as the Muriel shields right there. I thought Prime was dead to rights even with the mine, but he is able to get away. Not even able to pick up a tier 2 tower here, but still. You got to believe the morale on the side of Reborn right now, they're feeling really good about themselves in the current state of this game.
Yeah, they are they're very, very confident. Any sort of team engagement that takes place, they've been able to turn them in their favor. They've been hit a lot. They're taking a lot of damage in these engagements. That's why we're not seeing objectives fall. But we're getting to the point where right now it's just one team engagement. A 45 plus second death timer can lead to towers falling, an inhibitor falling, then picking up the orb prime and making another push. So we're getting to that point where one clean engagement, where people walk away healthy, they have mini waves pushing in their favor, they're going to be able to take major objectives here.
Yeah, with the death spawn timers getting longer and longer, that's the next team, whoever takes a decisive engagement, if any team is going to take a decisive engagement anytime soon, can get a lot out of it. And Clint Eastwood has won several games this weekend where they were behind, then all of a sudden, between like 15 and 30 minutes, they all of a sudden just win a fight, like just completely ace a team, and they just run and go down the gut a mid lane and take an inhibitor, and off the heels of that end up winning the game. They've done it time and time again, and I hope Reborn is going to take that into account, that they've won games being further behind than they are right now, including in the first game. That's essentially what happened, is they just went down mid lane and picked up off an inhibitor off of a just sudden favorable engagement for them. Nazgul on this Belica, man, he's been playing it so well and has really been an integral part of mitigating the damage coming out from the howitzer, and to a lesser extent the Quang.
Yeah, a guy on meds, man, he's the last 15 minutes, he's having a really hard time landing these boulders. Solo Nazgul was a little bit overextended. A guy on meds missed his boulder again. It's the 4th or 5th one in a row he's actually has not landed, which is a little bit unfortunate when it comes to these engagements. Being able to combo a guy on meds and Narbash, Marty Ribia's Thunk, can really help them secure these kills, but unfortunately they're just not landing them together. We do see an Orb Prime being taken right now by Suki and Leo Grande. I do believe Suki picked up the lifesteal already, so we're seeing End of the Iron Eater online. He could have soloed this, but he did have that extra support there.
I think just now Clint Eastwood is figuring out what's going on, and they're simply going to be too late. See if maybe they can get something out of it. Prime card's activated here for Reborn. What's the call from Clint Eastwood? Marty's over there. G-Leo's caught him up. He actually has used the shield slam to try to catch him out. Ramnos is here. He might get a big 3-man ultimate, 3-man tether. Judgment of the heavens. The auto crew is going to go down. Marty somehow still alive. One more attack. The ultimate being chosen by Solo Nazgul to secure the kill. They really wanted that. Arsenic is low. No Narbash on the field. The support is down for Clint Eastwood, plus the Prime card activation. And actually, look at Prime Chase Imsco right here. This is the strength of Greystone, and he takes him out. The Peruvian powerhouse, the Punisher. Oh, man, this could be it right here. This could be a Reborn. They're going to gut up the mid lane and see if they can get an inhibitor. 5v3, Prime card activated. Most of the ultimates online. Leo Grande is low, but he doesn't care. He's done his job. Prime still has Reforge online. Nazgul, that Void Drone, is going to be used effectively here. Put a little bit behind enemy lines to make sure they can't isolate it, drain the mana, make them scared to engage. Arsenic's going to use the Make It Rain. This inhibitor's going to fall very, very quickly. But the question we're all asking ourselves is, can they keep themselves in this game? The inhibitor's going to go down. Arsenic's down. This could be disastrous for Clint Eastwood. This could be Reborn. A guy on meds is stunned, and he goes down as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Reborn has done it. Reborn has done it. They're going to take game number 3, 2-1. The still undisputed champions of Paragon, of Monolith. They are going to take first place for the 2nd PCL in a row. And they come out there. People questioned if Suki replacing Imsco was the right call, and Reborn said right then and there, resoundingly, through the internet, through Twitch, and through all the walls of memes, that they are the best team of Paragon.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Great gameplay out of Reborn. Game 1 went to Clint Eastwood. Reborn was showing them, guys, don't worry about us. We're fine. Game 2 dominated. Came back for game number 3. A 4-minute difference in game time. Won it 26 minutes, game number 2. Game 3, they won it 30 minutes. To just let them know, it doesn't matter if you beat us once. We're Team Reborn, and we're going to body you nerds. And that's what they did, Shane. They put on an incredible, very impressive gameplay. The engagements out of Leo were so crucial to Reborn taking this game number 3. He was isolating targets with his shield slam. The immediate follow-up from Suki with those long arm of the laws. Solo Nazgul shutting down Howitzer. And Narbash with his Void Drone and Neural Disruptor, plus his Seismic Assault and the knockup, did a really, really good job. all around classic Reborn. Very good gameplay. Congratulations to them. They're going to be taking home first place, which is 60% of the $901
Oh man,
raised by the community.
so
Thank
dope.
you guys so much. Clint Eastwood, brand new team, finishing up second place,
I
also taking home
expect,
some of that prize pot.
assuming that the roster, that these guys stay together, just not to say that there's anything going on internally, but it's just the rosters are constantly changing due to the fact that Paragon's very early on in development and players are just trying to find their best flow. But if they keep that core right there, I think Clint Eastwood, man, this is the first time we've seen them as a roster, and they almost beat Reborn, who's been together for 6 months, 7 months, a long, long time. If anything, this shows other teams that Reborn, they do bleed just like the other ones. It is possible to knock them out of the finals, but they're going to have to wait for the next event, the next series for them to able to do that. But surely I hope Clint Eastwood, despite the fact they took second place, has instilled some inspiration to other teams and other rosters to just continue to play the best that they can, continue to practice, refine, and they will find themselves on top eventually. But not if Reborn has anything to say about it. It still just was an amazing PCL. We saw amazing games. I mean, the support monetarily from you guys is so generous with that prize pool. And we've said it, man. We haven't said it in a bit. It bears repeating. 2017 is going to be a great year for Paragon, whether you're a player, whether you are a viewer, or whether you're a caster, a content creator. However you're involved in this community, what we have is special here. And I expect to see some amazing things coming down throughout the rest of this year, Notch.
Yeah, I'm excited about 2017. Big shout out and thank you again to Chris Atlas over at Epic for getting the Paragon Competitive League on the homepage when you log into the game. Thank you so much for that. Thank you to the community for continuing to support this. Thank you to these teams who continue to sign up for the Paragon Competitive League and these events. I believe we had a total of 24 teams sign up. A couple did unfortunately not get to play.
We're working on that.
But we're working on expanding this instead of having a 16-team limit, opening it up to possibly 24 or more. We'll let you guys know the next event, guys. Next event, as always, 2 weeks from now, we'll be putting on another event. We should have an announcement for that event sometime this week, so stay tuned for that. Shane, thank you for casting with me, buddy, and being a part of this.
Thank you for being a dear friend. Thank you for being a great analytical caster. And ladies and gentlemen, I know it's that time. Paragon Competitive League number 2 has come to an end. Congratulations to Reborn. Once again, not letting me down. Not letting me down. That's right, guys. They are the champions. They're getting their share of the prize pool of the Matcherino, which you guys have sourced. Big shout out to Geronimo, Jack, and Trix, who covered Group B and the other semifinals. Shout out to Narender and iFairless, our admins, who, if they were not here, this would simply not be possible. And more importantly, shout out to you. I'm Shane. That's Notch. This is the Paragon Competitive League. And until next time, we'll see you guys in Monolith.